The Center for Innovative Leadership video podcast is being brought to you by the National Association of Elementary School Principals.
Welcome to the NAESP Center for Innovative Leadership video podcast. We're Jacks and Hamish Brewer, two of the fellows for the Center for Innovative Leadership. Andy is an elementary principal at the Ashland Elementary in Manassas, Virginia. And I'm Hamish Brewer, the middle school relentless principal at the Fred Lynn in Woodbridge, Virginia. The Center for Innovative Leadership video podcasts are all about real school leaders doing real work all across the country right now today, and how they're overcoming obstacles in unique and innovative ways. And what can we all do to learn from each other, the insight and experiences, and take back into our schools and be a part of our school leadership. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this to keep up with the conversation around innovative leadership.
Right, today I'm so excited because today is our friend Steve Smith, fellow NDP. I know Hamish has a connection with NDP with him. Steve and I connected a couple times, and one of the most unique ways recently was whenever I was able to visit his school when I was in town, and what a treat. So not only was I able to visit school, but he brought his family and my family. We were able to connect and get the whole tour, and we were able to videotape right on site. So we're going to show that off today. He is the principal at Eden Hall Upper Elementary School in Pine Richland School District. And that's just out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which for me is awesome because I grew up just south of there in Pittsburgh. So it's very exciting. And today, Steve's going to share about his school and share about one. I definitely want to know the efforts he does to bring together his community and to be innovative. And he has a lot of different ways he's innovative within his school. So I can't wait to share with him today. And you can follow him at Eden Hall UE on Twitter. And Steve, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. This is a great opportunity to spend some time talking with both of you.
I tell you what, Andy, it's pretty exciting that we have three NDPs, NASP, Nationally Distinguished Principals, in one place, let alone one of my favorites because we were in the same year together.
Did you guys get kicked out or what? Make it through?
We survived the week. It was a great week.
Yeah, I will tell you, Andy, Steve is one of the smartest dressed NDPs I've seen. Talk about dapper, 100%.
Yeah.
He's put together. He's definitely put together. He has. Steve, I think you're one of those guys that you have everything lined up, right? Like you take care of details.
I'm so glad you see it that way.
Hey, man, it's all about presentation.
That's it.
But the other thing is, I don't know if many people know this, but Steve is a dead ringer for Mr. Rogers. I know Mr. Rogers' movie is coming out here really soon. I cannot wait to see that, especially if you grew up in Pittsburgh. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is like legendary status. We all grew up on it, massive. But Steve, tell us about all the work you do as Mr. Rogers yourself. So what's that all about?
Yes, I was pointing to a little picture I have up here above my desk, but it's more recently, it's a movie's coming out. It's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and I'm an extra in that movie, part of Mr. Rogers' family. And a lot of kids always call me Mr. Rogers. Towards the end of the school year, we had a program for the community. There we go. And I portrayed Mr. Rogers.
Here we go.
We try to give the same message.
Doesn't that music just soothes you a little bit, doesn't it? It just sort of brings you down.
I even have a picture of dressed up with Mr. McFeely.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So before we move on to your school, let's get real for a second with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like, what do you connect with besides we're going to lose Hamish, I know that.
All right, I'm going to come back. Hey, I'm back.
What do you connect with Mr. Rogers? Because obviously playing him is one thing and like sort of the acting of it all, but what do you connect with his message or something that you thought of like to make you an educator, or what really connects with you with Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, what I really like is that Mr. Rogers shows a lot about listening. And I always say we have to listen more than we talk. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's for a reason.
Sure.
But we have to listen to kids, listen to staff, listen to parents. A lot of times parents, kids, and staff, they just want to talk and they want someone to listen to them. They don't necessarily want an answer or a solution. They just want to be heard. Mm-hmm. And I try to do that. I'm very patient. I want to present calmness to people. And so they feel it's a safe environment like he portrays in his shows, especially around kids. They have a lot going on in their life. And if we can show them that we're calm and how to react to situations in a calm manner, it just makes the place better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such great advice. All right. On that note, what do you say, Hamish? Let's check out his video. What do you think?
Yeah,
I'm
super
excited.
I've been really excited for this one.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Let's share. And
there we go. It's a front entrance, a beautiful building. Sustainability was a theme when building this complex. It's just beautiful. The windows, you can notice a whole bunch of different colors, stands for creativity. Everything about the building was designed with a purpose in mind. Coming into the main entrance, first thing people see is something student created, that RAM. Mm-hmm. And showing that the school community, as we are Eden Hall, it's one school community. Right to the office where you see a welcome center. You don't see school office. We want it to be welcoming for parents. It's so important. We want it to be their school, and recognizing everyone has a story and are welcome into our building. See our new PBIS, the Rams Way, which has started this year, and we have our kickoff assembly tomorrow morning. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, and you definitely see a lot of PBIS themes and clear expectations in your building.
Very clear expectations. There should be no guessing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a second because I want to hear all about the trees. There are trees and living, like, I know right below here, you didn't have it on, but you talked about having a waterfall feature right below those stairs. And you have these, what do they call, like zones or biomes, right? In different areas, each one of them has a live tree. Talk to us about that.
We have, in the school, we have 5 biomes: desert, grassland, forest, aquatics, and a tundra. So each hallway is a different biome of the earth. And throughout the school, we have 6 live trees, and you can see one here, one of our taller trees. Mm-hmm. And what we tried to do is bring the outside inside. Mm-hmm. And these trees represent the trees that were here before the land was cleared to build the school. So the land was cleared, trees were cut down, so we tried replanting trees to show students that, you know, we're keepers of the earth. Mm-hmm. And we have an arborist that comes in once a month and waters and trims the trees, so that's pretty unique. And each tree is given some type of saying. So this one shows the tree of responsibility. And right under the steps, you can't see it from this angle, but we do have a stream of water that comes from the second floor down into kind of like a little well.
That's amazing.
And it would be right there, right behind the white figure there. There's like a well, and the water just continuously flows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So it's all areas of the earth represented. We have the big rocks you can see to the left there. And it's amazing that the kids are not climbing trees. They're not putting their hands in the water. It's, you know, they respect it, which is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm glad you say that. I'm sorry, Hamish. I'm glad you said that because I think we always worry so much about what if the kids, you know, damage it, or what if the kids, you know, break it. And I think that's because we don't trust kids, you know. And if you start with trust and you start with the belief that they will act appropriately, I think it all stems from there, right?
Absolutely. And if you make kids, if they take ownership of their school, they're going to respect it. And that's the key thing. If we put signs around, do not touch, we're giving kids ideas and we're telling them not what to do. Mm-hmm. And we don't do that, and the kids respect it.
Sure.
Yeah, I've always been a firm believer that your school becomes the expectation you set for it. The vocabulary you set for it is what it becomes. Steve, you were obviously involved right from the outset. Were students and yourself kind of involved in some of these things right from day one, from the planning preparation of the building? Was there, what happened there? Like, did you come up with this thing? Did you just, how did it be?
No, I was fortunate enough to inherit. We had a founding principal who spent about 2 years designing the whole concept and working with the architects. And they went through several different design plans. And then I was actually going in the 4th principal in probably 5 years in the school. So there was some turnover. So when I came into the building, one thing that I learned right away was the focus was on the structure of the building and what was inside, the beauty of the building, but there was nothing else that was focused on. You know, it wasn't about the kids or about the programs or the teachers. It was about the waterfalls and the trees. So I felt a sense of urgency to remove the focus of the pretty stuff and put it back to the kids and the programs.
Wow.
So I had a lot to learn about the building, and even staff, there were a lot of things about the design that they had no idea about. So we brought the founding principal back a few times to actually give kids tours and give the staff tours of the building and talk about the concept so they can teach the kids about it.
That's a powerful tool, is to bring back one of the founders to think it through.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And this is one of the biomes. This is a 4th grade biome, and you can see the color on the walls. That's the grasslands. So everything is color represented, and we have a little over 1,100 students in the building. So we try to take a big building and make it look small. So in that biome, there were only 100 students. And in this picture is our TV studio, state of the art. And what I love about this television studio is not about the expensive equipment. It's about the opportunity at 8:30 in the morning that we bring 1,100 people together for just one school community and have a talk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's run by students.
Mm-hmm.
You see our classrooms. Teachers do a fantastic job just making it student-centered, student-friendly. Kids have workup. The students know where materials are because they own that classroom.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna go back to this one because I remember one time you told me, I brought this idea back. So a lot of people have these different sensory walks, right? But talk to me about. See, I love the details. Hamish and I are fascinated with these sort of nuanced details of leadership and the choices that principals make. Some principals more than others. Different types of choices. Whenever you wanted your floors to look nice, how did you talk to me about that?
Oh, the custodial staff here, I think it's a love-hate relationship because they love that I'm very clean, and almost to my fault, I'm very clean. But I always tell them I want to see my part in my hair off the floor. So this floor, I can tell you, has 10 layers of wax, and I know that for a fact.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I walk down, I can comb my hair looking at myself in that floor. I love it, but you know what? It represents us. When you walk into a school, you look around, the first thing is, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel welcomed? And I think families, when they walk into Eden Hall, they see this and they feel good. And our custodians, we recognize them, their efforts, and they feel good about the compliments.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. When your custodial staff feels that pride in the building, you can just feel it. You can see it on the floors. You can see it on the walls. It just comes out. But something else you said about this, and I did that after I talked to you, is after you put the sensory stuff down, I think you put another 5 coats of wax or something on it.
Yeah, we did. I think we had about 7 coats on the floor before the sensory stickers went down. And then we added additional layers of wax just for protection.
So that's yeah. So, but I brought that back, and that's what we did, because we have a whole new like sensory walkway thing this year.
Yeah.
And to protect that, we had like 5 coats of wax. We're just putting them on every night. It's like a new coat of wax on that sucker, you know, because you got to keep it looking good. You pay a lot of money for that stuff. You want it to look good, you know. Exactly. All right, good deal. And you said you have custodial staff on a 24-hour shift or something, right?
We do. We have, except for the weekends, we have 24 hours. So I have a team that comes in at after school hours. There's 4 custodians. And then overnight, we have 2 custodians that kind of help us with the snow, because the snow up here in Pittsburgh gets to you. And they just continuously throughout the day and night. This is one of our calming rooms for sensory. Kids like to go in and just take a few minutes to relax. We have a dream lab. This was new a couple years ago. Some of our teachers put together.
Take a look at this. Is an idea that I think I might try to steal from you too. Look at real close down there. Talk to me about your indoor walking path.
Indoor. So last year we had a group of parents that were talking about the concept of wellness, and we have a lot of outdoor recess. Like right now, the weather's fantastic, so the kids get out there and get to play gaga ball and foursquare. But during those months from, say, November to March, the snow is nonstop. And so the kids, they don't get as much of the exercise as needed. And so what the committee decided was, let's take the indoor area of the school, and we have a lot of space, and create a walking path. So they did some measurements, and we found that we could create a 1/4 mile loop and also a mile loop. And you can see 12 laps downstairs on the main floor will give us the 1 mile. So we have stickers up, and we have signs that guide the students and staff around the school. And then there's about 6 areas that we've designated as an exercise area where we would have them stop and maybe do some push-ups or wall push-ups, jumping jacks. So when there's a little bit of downtime, you can see the kids walking through the halls doing the exercises.
I like that idea, because there's a lot of schools around the country that have the same issue about, recess and exercise because of weather.
I like how cost effective it is. It's really a cost neutral activity that any school, any principal watching this right now could take away, Steve, and they could apply it right now.
Absolutely. It was easy. A couple signs, create a path, show the kids once, and they'll stick with it.
Great takeaway today. I might steal that one myself.
There you go.
Cool.
This area is unique. It's right above our school library. It was just a big open space, and the assistant principals and I talked about how do we utilize that space. So we bought some cafe tables, and it's so nice to see the kids up there sitting with their Chromebooks, just talking and sharing ideas. And you saw the stationary bikes in the clip before. Our PTO purchased 20 stationary bikes to put in our fitness lab. And then this is a new addition outside of the library that was Frisbee golf.
Yeah, there's always focus on fitness and health and well-being and sort of wellness in your school.
Yeah, and it was a district initiative, and what I really do is focus on taking district initiatives and how do I make those live out inside of our building. Mm-hmm. So we want to be aligned.
It really feels like a sense of teaching the entire student.
Yeah, teaching the whole child.
Body, the whole child. I really get a sense that now this. Pause.
Isn't that incredible?
Hold up the bus. Shut the door.
That is our auditorium.
What is that? The city auditorium or something right there, like the town hall?
That is
like
it.
Heinz Hall. Yes.
Yeah, we seat just under 600 people in a performance, whether it's chorus or a school assembly. They retract, so if we want to have a larger audience, we can retract those seats. It goes back. We can fit up to 900 people in that room then.
Wow.
And what's unique about this is you can see over on the right side, the brown wall, how it curves up. That's a tree trunk. And so as it curves from the right to the left and goes across towards the seats, you'll see branches at the top, and you see the squares. They're green. They serve as leaves. So it feels like you're sitting inside of a tree, or under a tree, I should say.
So this is an incredible space. One of the things that Andy and I both appreciate and talk about immensely is the technology around sound and visual and performance. Like Andy and I are big proponents of getting the performance and the little things like the sound quality, getting it as great as you can. And it's obvious right here that this is a first-class example. Congratulations.
Oh, it is. We're so proud of it. What's great about it, our technology has come so far over the last few years, but up in the top left there in the center of the seats, we do have a display table where we have our tech team that televise or live stream everything. So families can be across the country and still see a chorus concert or still see a program for their kids.
And do you get kids helping with that part of the process?
Yes, kids help with everything. Now, some of the performances for evening, we'll have the high school television team come down and help with that. But yeah, we want kids to be involved as much as possible.
Wow, beautiful school.
It is beautiful. Very lucky.
Mm-hmm. But your attention to detail brings out this, right? It really brings out the special qualities of your school.
Yes. There's our cafeteria. I love the round tables. It gets kids to talk. We do allow, it's a grades 4, 5, and 6, and we allow the kids to sit anywhere in the cafeteria, so they don't have to just sit at a table with their homeroom. They can sit wherever they want. Again, it was scary, but it's something that works.
Yeah, I think all good principals know don't break something that's working.
That's right. These are our new Gaga pits. Our PTO helped us purchase 2 Gaga pits, and it's on top of turf, soft turf. And we probably have about 100 kids every recess. We have about 5 recess periods that are in these Gaga pits every day.
And like you saw earlier, is really interesting when I saw your school for the Pittsburgh area, which does get some cold weather. You had a lot of outdoor space.
We
You had
do.
all these playground areas over here. You had sort of this, like, you talk about this sort of seating on the right hand side. I don't know if I captured here, but there's some seating. On the
Yes.
front, you had the frisbee golf. That's pretty
Square.
intentional, right?
Yeah, a lot of we and I thank our parents too. They thought of everything as what do the kids like to do. We brought down kids and talked about what would you like to see more at recess. And since we've added more, we've seen a decrease, significant decrease in recess referrals too, because the kids are actively engaged. Those Gaga pits, what's unique is there used to be a climbing wall in that space, and what frustrated me was that the kids would climb up and just sit there and talk, or things would happen up there.
Yeah.
And so, my decision to remove the climbing wall and add something in place of it was what will engage kids, what will get them to talk to each other, play with each other, and just be engaged. And that has been a tremendous asset to us this year. So I'm very happy.
Just listening to you, Steve, and watching the video, some takeaways that I straight away get beyond just the walking space is this concept of joint ownership between school, between educators, students, and parents is a real community engagement factor here. That would be one that a huge takeaway that we can learn from you is that parent engagement piece and partnership, true partnership. Yes. And then something else I've noticed about your school, because it is a beautiful school, but as Andy said, it's the attention to the details and the maximization of space. Like, there is not any part of your space that's not functional, being used for an educational purpose. It's very much a dedicated space, and it's that attention to details that now I'm thinking about my school, Andy. I'm thinking about, does every part of that school have a purposeful function for educational output or impact?
Right. Yeah. And that's something I took away after visiting his school too. So we're working on a quiet room, sensory room kind of thing. And we found a space, and same thing. Let's maximize that space for that purpose. Be really intentional with the different spaces you have. So it has a clear goal, almost like if a stranger walked in, they could tell, okay, that's what that is for, right? It's not just sort of random, just sort of junked up space, but it's hard as principals. And all you principals out there, it's really tough because keeping everything in line, I mean, it's like a everyday nonstop job. So obviously seeing your school the way it is, Steve, that's something that you focus on all the time. So how do you do that without like burning everybody? Like, because not everybody's that same level of attention to detail as you are, right?
No, and people laugh when I come up with different ideas, but I think creating that community, sense of community and sense of ownership in the school, I've worked hard to do that. It's not my school. It's your school, whether it's a student, it's a staff, or it's a parent. And I want them to give ideas, and they give an idea. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it won't, but we won't know until we try it. I don't like seeing rooms with furniture stacked up in as storage spaces. We did have that. Now there are rooms where counselors go in and use them for classrooms and whatever. But we want it to be a space. Every space has a need or a unique need for kids. And I want parents or teachers or students to know that this is their place that's safe, that they enjoy coming to every day. And I'm the vehicle that makes it happen. And I have a great team behind me. We do everything. We collaborate. It's all about kids here. Wasn't always that way, but it is that way now. And I think that's why we've come so far, because people trust us.
Steve, what would be some professional advice you would give to principals in dealing with bringing a community closer, partnering with parents? What would be advice or steps, takeaways that you could give an administrator watching today?
Yeah, I think far too often principals, we're afraid of sometimes some of the input. We're afraid to bring people in to take a look at what's happening. And I think when people come in and see and they feel part of a process and they have a voice, they're going to be your biggest supporters. So the more people we can get in, even if it's something that you're not so proud of, if you can kind of let yourself out there and be vulnerable and get some input, I think people are going to appreciate that and want to help you and not put up a wall and fight things happening. Mm-hmm. So we have to let our guard down sometimes to let parents come in, see what's happening, and lend a hand. When I did focus groups when I first came, I wanted a list of names of parents that were 120% in support of the school. And I also wanted names that maybe parents that fought the school often. And I invited half and half because I wanted voices on both ends. Mm. And I think that was the turning point for the school, is that everyone had thoughts, feelings, and needs, and they got to express them, and they just appreciated that.
Mm. Yeah, you know, that it's amazing to hear another principal say that, because it is scary when I think a lot of principals are scared to hear from parents. And really, you're a shining example of what it looks like to take that feedback constructively, not put up a wall, but take it, use it, and apply it, and look what happens.
Yeah, and so, we encourage teachers, you know, don't shut your classroom door. Show what's happening, show others. And teachers are afraid to do that. So we have to model for teachers as well, to open our doors and show people what's happening.
So obviously you've built on these like interpersonal skills, working with parents, some that may not like what you're doing, some that do. And I'm sure there's times where you're trying to do something, whatever that initiative is, and you get some pushback, right? So a lot of principals sort of struggle with that. So dig a little bit deeper. Like, what are you thinking that helps you be a better place in your mind, or approachable? Because obviously these things, like, it starts with you. Like your skill set of interacting with those people really matters. So is there anything that like you do or think about before you meet with these families to like put yourself in a good frame of mind? Or
yeah, well, first I have a son, and I think about my son coming to this school, and as a parent, what would I want to see in the school? So I try to put myself in the perspective of a parent. Mm-hmm. What did they want to see? And it's interesting, growing up and even in my early years of teaching, I was very quiet, very intrapersonal, and I didn't like the sitting and talking and meeting with people, and becoming a principal. I found that that's something you have to do. Mm-hmm. But I want parents to have a voice in something. I want them to walk out of the school saying, I'm so glad my son or my daughter goes to that school because I'm a part of it. Mm-hmm. So I sit and I just listen to everything they have to say. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have to steer the conversation, but sometimes we have to let parents guide the conversation as well. It's a give and take. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of parents. I mean, parents love their kids. They want what's best. Mm-hmm. And we have to respect that. And I'm fortunate, there's a community here in Pine Ridgeland that parents want the best, and that raises the expectations for me, and I have to live up to their expectations just as I expect kids to live up to my expectations.
Yeah, you know, a point you just made that I love is it's okay for parents to want the best for their child. Yeah. We should embrace that. Like, we should want every parent to have the best school on the planet. Shouldn't be just, hey, over there's a great school. No, we want every school to be great. And I think that's about advocating for all children. And you're doing that. Mind, body, soul, spirit. You guys are doing it all. I'm just fascinated right now because I'm seeing someone squared away that's really got this locked down. Like, do you draw inspiration from a certain mentor? Like, are you reading a certain book? Like, what would you tell a principal to read right now?
To be honest, my main thing is Twitter. Twitter is a professional development tool that I get on and I can see you or see Andy, and I gain ideas every single day. Yeah. And I could be at a restaurant, I'll slip out my phone. I know I shouldn't do it on family time. I see a great tweet, great idea. I screenshot it. I'm trying to implement it. We have to share with each other. There's so many ideas, and I was not a good student. You know, I went through school. I was similar to, you know, what you describe in your book. I was the worst student. My parents pulled me out of public school because of my behavior, because of my grades, and I went to a private school. And I remember in 6th grade saying, I will never step foot in another school the rest of my life after I graduate. And I think I came back because people didn't believe in me. My high school counselor told me I will never go to a college, or I will never have this type of job. And that forced me to position myself where I am today.
Wow.
And
Powerful.
And now I want kids to understand that I have faith in them and I believe in them, and I'm going to create a school environment that supports them and will not tell them you can't do something.
Well, you've obviously done that, right, Andy?
Oh yeah, powerful stuff. And definitely reach out to Steve for more ideas and connect with him. I know just from our conversations in person, I love one of the coolest things is when you just happen to be in the area and so you can make these things work. And kudos to you, Steve. You reached out to me and you're like, I know you're here. Let's make it work. I know. It's like, yes, let's do it. So, and having our families meet for a second, that was super cool. So
that was nice. Thank you.
Kudos to you for reaching out, because that's something we talk about all the time. You can't just expect people to like naturally just kind of fall together, right? Like you have to make it work. You have to actively seek people out, get the conversation started, and then from there you build that relationship, right?
Absolutely.
So, Steve, it's been a great visit with you today. Absolutely enjoyed it. So many takeaways, lots of learning for all of us, including myself. Can you just tell the audience where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and then just finally, what's coming up next for you?
Yeah, so the Twitter is posted is at Eden Hall, Steve Smith at Eden Hall UE. Our school district website is Pine Richland School District. It's at Eden Hall, so a lot of contact information there. What's up next for us? I'm very excited. And I talked to Andy about this too, and he kind of helped guide me through this, but we have in about a week through Life Touch coming in, and we're taking photos of every single student and staff member in the school, and we're having some 8x10s taken of everyone, and we're posting them throughout the entire building. So when you walk through the school, you won't just see a bulletin board, but you're going to see every single living face that's in our school community that builds a school each day. So kids have a voice in this school, and I want them to see it and feel it firsthand. So that's one of the big things we have coming up here at Eden Hall.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, just show that effort that you talk about kids being first, but you're actually putting your actions where that talk is, right?
Absolutely.
That's impressive. So, my man, you're so good. You're so amazing.
Thank you.
Hamish and I said we value this time learning from all of you, but we really appreciate your time making this work. Thank you.
You guys are true inspirations. I appreciate it.
Vice versa. So, all of you guys out there, thank you for listening and for following along with our conversation about innovative practices. Don't forget to go to our webpage, www.naesp.org/CIL, to sign up to share your story with us and keep the discussion going with us on Twitter. For me, it's _Andy Jacks. For Hamish, it's Brewer HM. And see past videos on the NAESP YouTube page and our website. And what's really cool about NAESP, for all of you guys listening and watching out there, they turn all of these into blogs as well. They do a great job of taking these, the lessons that we're trying to learn and sharing those out in some clear takeaways. And so I definitely recommend reading through those. So I appreciate Steve being here, the man, and thanks, Hamish. What do you think? Pretty good job, huh?
It was awesome. So with that said, let's remember, don't stagnate, innovate.
Have a great day, everybody.